I am a believer that the process prepares you for your purpose. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many sacrifices that you have to make, the process prepares you. I had the opportunity to sit down with Shantel and Shanika Alphabet, and their process definitely prepared them. Take a listen.
Hi, my name is Shantel Alphabet. I am the CEO of the Alphabet House, and I am disrupting the classroom.
I'm Shanika Alphabet, and I'm the CEO of the Alphabet House, and I'm disrupting the classroom.
You want to start?
Sure, I'll start. Well, pretty much we grew up. My mom and dad was married at first. When I was 3, they got a divorce. And when my dad left on drugs. And my mom was a gambler. So my sister, my brother, and I was pretty much left to fend for ourselves. My brother left and moved with my grandparents, and so it was pretty much my sister and I for the longest. And we were forced, well, I ain't gonna say forced, but kind of pushed to survive on our own, and the streets was our way out. So like we started selling drugs. I was 6, she was 9, and we were considered runners around our neighborhood. So we met a guy in the neighborhood who sold drugs, and he was like, "You guys want to make quick money?" And we was like, "Sure. Can you take this down the street?" So he would give us, bags, and we would do the transaction. We would come back, give him the money. He would give us money, and then it just grew from there. We learned how to do everything in that industry, from cooking to bagging to selling. We became our own. We've been entrepreneurs all our lives.
Right.
We just learned how to do it the correct way. But that was our way of living until we became teenagers. So we also took care of our younger brothers and our nieces and nephews. And like we lived on our own since we were probably like 12, 14 years old.
I am a first generation graduate from both sides of the family. So I'm the first one to graduate on my dad's side and the first one to graduate on my mom's side of the family. When I went to college, I didn't know really what college was all about. No one in our family really spoke about college. They only spoke to us because my mom kids were considered like the black sheep of both sides of the family. We were just street runners, and instead of saying street, we would say street. And so we would be joined by all of our cousins, all of the family members. "Oh, look at Elaine kids. Look at that girls. They just so hood and so ghetto, so tomboyish," because we wore sweatpants and tennis shoes all the time. So we didn't think about college. I think we kind of pushed each other towards that because, when my sister would come home from school, I would sit her down at the table, do your work. Like, you don't have a plan B. This is your plan B, your plan A and your plan B. So I was like her teacher since she was a baby, and I would like spank her whenever she would like not do her work, and she would cry. But then my mom was like, "You better listen to her because she has straight A's, and you need to follow suit." And so we were kind of each other's motivation. I wanted to keep striving for excellence so that she can follow in my footsteps, and that's kind of been our pattern all of our lives, huh?
I was like, I want to be a world changer. I want to offer something back to the world. Like nobody offered that to me, so let me be that person.
Well, my first year teaching, my principal, they were all amazed. Like, how in the world do you do that? So the second year, the parents were sleeping outside. Channel 2, Channel 11, Channel 5, they were all like, okay, so we have this teacher from Parkside Elementary School. Oh my Lord, what is going on? So it was like starting to manifest. And then the year after, like parents were sleeping outside to get their kids in my class because there were only a certain amount of kids allowed to get into the class. And my principal was like, "Listen, we have got to put a halt to this." That year I was named Teacher of the Year, and I said, "You know what, Shanika, I think we could do this on our own." I left my good paying job, listening to my sister She asked me to come over and help her at the private school she was teaching at. She was like, come over here. We need help. We need more teachers. They're going to give you more pay. I was like, oh, cool, I'm coming. So I resigned from Atlanta Public Schools. I went to the private school where my sister was teaching. And like 2 months in, the dean of students came and she was like, listen, I'm sorry to let you know this, but the student ratio has diminished greatly and we can no longer, afford to pay you your salary. I was like, so I went to my sister, and of course I'm a crier. So I went to her and I was like, how are we going to afford our bills? How are we going to take care of all these kids? We take care of all my nieces and nephews. We was like, we can't do it. So Shanika was like, okay, well, we have a strategy. We've been here before. So let's do this. Let's tell the parents that we're no longer going to be here and we're going to do open house in our 1-bedroom apartment. We just gonna start a homeschool. We were like, okay, let's start a homeschool in our 1-bedroom apartment. And that is for real. That's exactly what happened. And I started just like pulling curriculum. We started creating like different packets of information, and we would just test it on our nieces and our nephews. Like, if it works for them, it has to work for all the other kids. And we would like sit home literally and create songs and create raps, create large visuals with like colorful visuals so that the kids can understand the concepts and principles. And we would do high frequency things with them. Antonyms are opposites. Oh, yeah. Antonyms are opposites. Antonyms are opposites, and opposites are antonyms. Say opposites are antonyms. And then my cousin, it's time for the antonym song. It's time for the antonym song. It's time for the antonym song. It's time for the antonym song.
And to see them come alive, to come to life, to, amazing. Thrive, to actually get the work on their own, on their own time. To me, that's the best reward ever. We definitely had to go through some pruning, some breaking, some finding or relearning, or learning myself, period. Because you think that you know yourself. You think, oh, this is who I am. Yeah. I'm this hard hood fighter chick. But is that really who God created me to be? Right. No. So what was my purpose? And so, like, for me, I had to like readjust my whole entire attitude. Because growing up, fighting and selling drugs was all I knew. So that was my thing. So when people would try to assist me, I was like, no, I got this.
Right.
It was all about me. Right. Then when I got into ministry, it was all about serving.
My dad that kind of raised us, he's our goddad, Elder David Johnson. He told us one time, he said, if you can get up and do anything for free without getting paid, and you do that, and you love that, and you can wake up and you can do that out of your sleep, then you found purpose.
Wow. The story from Shantel and Shanika Alphabet has left me inspired. They found a way to turn their pain into purpose. They let us know they are not what they come from. They are not what they have experienced. They are not what people have said about them, but they are great. They exhibit greatness. They pour greatness into the individuals every single day. And you too are great.